And joining me now is one of the senior-most members of the all-party delegations as part of the Operation Sindoor diplomatic outreach, former Union Minister and Congress leader Anand Sharma. Appreciate your joining us here, Mr. Sharma. You met the Prime Minister yesterday. He met all the delegations. There is a sense that while all of you were united abroad, you are divided at home. Is that the impression you got after meeting the Prime Minister, or do you believe that there is unanimity over what India should do post-Operation Sindoor?
I think India speaks in one voice. India spoke in one voice.
Abroad or domestically?
Even domestically, if you look at when the terror attack took place, India spoke, all the parties stood together. All the political parties, including the Indian National Congress, which I represent, working committee met immediately, not once but 3 times during the military conflict too, and unequivocal solidarity. There was no ifs and buts, and also the support to our defense forces and their action. So that is not the issue on which there were differences. We are different political parties, and that is the beauty and strength of a multi-party parliamentary democracy. So we have our own ideologies, our own views. You cannot have a democracy where there is uniformity or imposed uniformity.
Sure, but you see, the thing is, you went, for example, to 4 countries, and I heard what you said in South Africa, where you commended our security forces for acting with great restraint. On the other hand, when I hear some of the comments that are emanating from your own party here, there is a sense that your party is now increasingly critical of the Narendra Modi government's handling, particularly of the post-ceasefire politics. Rahul Gandhi has gone as far as saying, Narendra surrender. So your leader is saying, we virtually surrendered to American pressure for a ceasefire. You've gone abroad to take India's case. Was there no dissonance as a result? What you're calling democracy is also dissonance.
We were part of the global outreach to inform, sensitize and mobilize global public opinion in support of India, its people, and in our fight against terror. There cannot be 2 views on that. So it was a very, very clear message that we wanted to give. On this issue, I don't think either Rahul Gandhi is thinking differently or the Indian National Congress is thinking. No political party in India, because we all have taken collective position. Now when it comes to democracies are Rajdeep noisy. People have views, perceptions. Even in 1962, when Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji, as a very young MP, wrote to Jawaharlal Nehru, in the midst of a war, convened a special session. So all these issues which are raised, I'm sure the opposition will ask questions, the government will respond to them.
So you're saying there's a distinction, you're saying there's a distinction between unanimity on terror and Pakistan-sponsored terror versus possibly differences perhaps of the way we've handled the ceasefire. How do you explain Rahul Gandhi's Narendra surrender comment?
See, I do not know. I did not talk to him about this, so I am not in a position, not qualified, because I was traveling abroad. I was traveling abroad. I'm sure that Parliament session, which should be convened, they should discuss all this, and the transparency matters. The government would respond and should respond, because look at, in any military conflict, the governments do come out finally with the details, not in combat situation. So I hope...
Because your leader wants to know, for example, how many jets have been felled. He wants to know about whether the External Affairs Minister, Mr. Jaishankar, through his statements had effectively forewarned Pakistan. Now, all of this is being picked up globally and in Pakistan.
I am not going to get into that. I would rather focus on the purpose for which I went as a part of the delegation, because I've been traveling abroad most of the time.
Okay, so given, as you said, you want to focus on the purpose for which you went, and I even have Jairam Ramesh, your spokesperson, Congress spokesperson, saying these delegations are weapons of mass distraction. They are, in a way, a cover-up for the government's own failings to take India's point diplomatically. Therefore, you need these all-party delegations, because what diplomats should have done is now being done by politicians.
Well, he has his view. In the past also, leaders of opposition have been requested by successive prime ministers to speak for India in difficult situations. Indira ji had requested Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji and other opposition leaders. When the East Pakistan crisis came, there was genocide, rape, pillage, plunder there by the Pakistan army, and we had 10 million refugees in India. US 7th Fleet had come to the Bay of Bengal, and the war was imminent. But finally, India's special envoys went to different world capitals, and many of them were eminent world opposition leaders. There were other occasions when Rajiv Gandhi as Prime Minister also requested and sent.
Narasimha Rao did it with Salman Khurshid and Atal Bihari Vajpayee going to represent India's case on Kashmir.
That is true. There was another 2 occasions when Rajiv Gandhi as Prime Minister had sent me to accompany Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Once was when a special UN session had to be convened in Geneva in Palestine, when Arafat was refused US visa. So the UN session itself shifted to Geneva.
Right.
And Rajiv Gandhi as Prime Minister nominated Atal Bihari Vajpayee and instructed me to accompany him for the UN session. So twice actually I accompanied.
So what you're saying is what happened is not unusual. Prime Minister Modi in a way has followed what previous Prime Ministers have done. You don't agree with Jairam Ramesh when he says they have weapons of mass destruction. That's his view. Presumably
I think we are informed people nominated by, at least I can say, nominated by my party leadership. And I have done what my party and government both wanted to speak for India.
You know, in fact, it's interesting. You're one of the few leaders who was nominated both by your party and the government. But, you know, look at a Shashi Tharoor's plight. He speaks out for India like you did, but he's accused of being a super spokesperson of the BJP by your own party. Is that something that you're comfortable with when these comments are made?
Listen, speaking for India is a national duty. That doesn't mean that back home we have changed colors. I can say for myself. I am committed to a particular philosophy and ideology all my life. That's where I am. So I can speak only for myself.
Sir, how was the meeting with the Prime Minister, which you all had, the high tea that you had with the Prime Minister? Was there a sense of complete solidarity with the government? Because that is something that has been missing in our politics in recent times. Politics has become very hyper-polarized.
It is.
So did you sense that there was a sense of solidarity cutting across party lines?
Yes, when it comes to India's national security and the fight against terror, it was clearly there.
So the mood was positive and united.
On this issue, there cannot be 2 views, there cannot be 2 groups.
But yet, you believe that questions will be asked, presumably, of the government. Now that you're back, you believe questions you're an opposition party leader. Will questions be asked?
Parliament session, that will happen. And that is actually should be accepted with respect. It is not something sensational. In a democracy, questions are asked. Name one country where questions are not asked.
If you're an autocracy, like
Then
China,
questions will not be
asked.
We are a democracy,
Sure.
and it should be taken in that spirit. If the government is asked questions, the government should welcome questions from the opposition. That gives an opportunity actually to the Prime Minister and the government to respond and clear any doubts.
I just want to come back in a moment to the hyper-polarization, because you were part of Manmohan Singh's government. 26/11 happened. The government then followed a policy of strategic restraint. The same BJP government of Narendra Modi says Prime Minister Manmohan Singh and the UPA government was a weak government. We are the government that is setting a new template against terror. Do you agree with that? That the Manmohan Singh government of which you were a part was a weak government, and now we have a strong, muscular government. This is what the government says.
You see, sometimes you don't have to shout to be heard. Dr. Manmohan Singh was a statesman, a very humble man, but a very firm leader. India's message was heard loud and clear in the world capitals. I was then a minister in external affairs, and mind you, Rajdeep, I was also the Minister of Information and Broadcasting. 26/11, post that, the government's position articulation was handled, or I was given the responsibility. And even to travel to other places where the P5 countries and the foreign ministers of major countries met in Paris on 14th of December. So we know what we conveyed, how it was conveyed, and the language, and how the message registered.
But how would you reconcile what you're just telling me with the manner in which the same Modi government, of which you've gone now to speak across the world, targets the Congress government of the past?
That is there should not be any politics. I was very proud to be a minister with Dr. Manmohan Singh. I'm proud of our track record. Let me also tell you, at that time, 4 of the P5 countries stood with India. Rock solid. Don't forget that. India, the kind of world support which India got, and the country started investigating. Pakistan was isolated globally. So let's not forget, that was not a mean achievement.
No, it's not me who's forgetting it. It is the government of Narendra Modi, which you are seen to have gone and represented to these global capitals, which questions and targets. The BJP relentlessly targets Manmohan Singh.
Well,
you're saying you represented India, you did not represent Narendra Modi's government.
Not the government, we represent the country.
So have your views changed on Mr. Modi after meeting him yesterday, the solidarity show? Is Anand Sharma now convinced that Mr. Modi is very different to the kind of leader Rahul Gandhi sees Narendra Modi as?
Listen, each one of us as individuals, we have our perceptions. There are positives and there are also certain areas of concern. But Prime Minister, I would appreciate his gesture of taking an honest feedback from the leaders and parliamentarians who were part of the official delegations. Naturally, it's the government of the day which will send the delegations. But those who comprise or constituted the delegations belong to different political parties of the countries.
Just a couple of more questions. You've been one of the senior most Congress persons. You were in Youth Congress president in the early 80s. What would your advice be to Rahul Gandhi? Would your advice be that he's got to be careful in the kind of words and language he uses? Because then he effectively is seen as the voice of the Congress party. So when he says Narendra surrender, does it in a way diminish the Congress party and its stand? Suggesting that the Prime Minister has surrendered in some form.
Rajdeep, it's not for me to give any advice.
You're the one of the senior most leaders.
It's not for me to advise. Rahul Gandhi is the leader of the opposition. He has his own style. And it is wrong for me to even suggest that way. Now when the parliament session comes, surely he has a right to speak as the LOP, and the government will be bound to respond.
Would you have any advice for Prime Minister Modi? Would you suggest how should we move forward in isolating Pakistan, something that we have been unable to do? Let's be very clear. We have still not been able to isolate Pakistan and convince the world that it is the epicenter of terror. So how should we go forward?
I think we have been able to convince more or less about Pakistan being the epicenter of terror. There's no doubt on that. Now this is
the same country which the United Nations has now made a co-chairman of the counter-terrorism committee.
That is most unfortunate because Pakistan lacks the credentials, credibility, its track record is pockmarked. So that is something which shocked me also when I heard about it. We were traveling, and which against India will have to raise its voice and talk to the partner countries, the strategic partners, because it's not only India's fight. Fight is against terror. It's a global scourge. I named many world capitals. But let's not forget many regions of Africa or West Asia, in the Middle East, there is terrorism. And there is India's resolution which is pending. Some actions have been taken. There is some unresolved issue on the definition of terrorism at the UN, but comprehensive international convention against terror is pending. What India has to do is to mobilize support to make it effective, and also the FATF, the Financial Action Task Force. Where Pakistan was in the grey list, Pakistan should be pushed back into that grey list so that it becomes responsible. On one hand, Pakistan goes with the begging bowl. Pakistan goes to IMF, World Bank, ADB, and then they divert those funds, either to fund terrorism or to buy weapons. That's what their deep state.
Would you like to see a special session of parliament being called, as your party is calling for?
There was no reason why it should not have been.
You believe there is every reason for
That's what democracy is all for.
In conclusion, would you therefore say your all-party delegations have been successful in
Yes, they
sending
have
out India's message
Yes,
loud and clear?
Loud and clear. And I would also say, I have a message for everyone.
Yes.
As somebody who loves his country, who has been in public life, I've seen, and fortunate and blessed to have seen the times of Indira Gandhi, Atal Bihari Vajpayee, Dr. Manmohan Singh. I've worked in Parliament for long. I've known also the leaders of other parties. Ideological differences are the essence of democracy. Debate, disagreements are also integral to democratic dialogue and narrative. They should never be made personal. Never, ever. That is what I saw when we were there and amongst the leaders of that period, that even if they had the sharpest of exchanges, at personal level, the relationship was always warm. That's what I wish to happen in this country.
Very, very sound words there from one of the senior politicians of this country and a member of that all-party delegation that went to different countries. Anand Sharma, for joining me here on India Today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.